Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Harder Not Smarter podcast. We have our second episode of the Greg and Kevin solo episodes, where we're going to be going through a list of current trending topics that are going in the media today, from funny to serious, and a little bit of everything in between. So today's topics in the docket, for those of you who haven't listened to this before, we have 3 different topics we're going to discuss with a max of 10 minutes each. And we have a whole list of about 10 different topics we can get into, and we'll do a random drawing for each one. So today's possible topics are raising feral boys, electoral college, living overseas, SpaceX catching the super heavy booster, Ukraine and drones, Israel versus really everybody, but Iran, Houthis, Hamas, Hezbollah, the woke left, UFOs and the Pentagon's sudden transparency around them, the housing market crisis, or the not-so-real crisis, the rise of independent media, so talking about people such as VP Harris going on Sean Ryan show, possibly, Trump going on Sean Ryan show, Theo Vaughn, and Joe Rogan, actually tomorrow, October 25th. Sorry,
it's okay.
I have dogs. North Korea being present in Ukraine, Arnold Palmer's cock, FEMA shit show in North Carolina, and Elon Musk's $1 million voting lottery. So getting into it, as I said, we have a 10-minute countdown. I'll get that going right now as we start the drawing. Set and start. So today's
I know what everybody's rooting for. Everyone's rooting for
Everyone
Arnie
wants
Palmer.
to know what Arnold Palmer's cock is about. So I'll shake it up. Not the cock, the cup. First topic, Elon Musk's $1 million voting lottery. Oh, shit. I just put that back in there. We don't want that back in there.
Yeah,
so
give us the background. Give us the background on that, Kevin.
So the background of that
into it today
is Elon Musk is swung hard. He's pretty much the first tech CEO I can think of that has gone hard right on the political spectrum. You have some of them that are shifting a little more right. Some that have gotten something like, I'm pretty sure Jeff Bezos has made some more conservative comments. The best swing has been Mark Zuckerberg, who after Trump's first assassination attempt, he was talking, I don't remember what talk show he was on, but he was like, that was probably the most badass patriotic thing, seeing him nearly killed, a bullet hitting his ear, bleeding down the side of his face, getting dogpiled by Secret Service, and giving the fist pump of saying fight on. It's like hearing Mark Zuckerberg, who was like
very tactically unsound though. Not tactically sound. Probably let Secret Service,
in terms of self-preservation, or on the Secret Service part. Well,
no,
both of them, I guess, really.
Actually, both of them really. Both the execution on that was, very tactically unsound. But the fact that he got,
the shooting was tactically unsound too.
Yeah, the whole thing was a shit show. But we digress. Anyways,
yes. So Mark Zuckerberg swinging more right, realizing he even came out and apologized for the 2016 election, so Trump versus Hillary Clinton, with them giving information to the FBI and a whole bunch of other things. But we digress, circling it all back like the last episode we talked about. People in the tech space, Silicon Valley, are typically very left-leaning. And so Musk coming out has been a big pot stirring that he is such a large proponent of free speech, conservative values, and now at this point, putting his money where his mouth is. He's been donating a ton of money to Trump's campaign in the tone of.
Do you think it's conservative values? Do you think it's conservative values that he aligns with, or do you think it's what's going to line his pocket? Because I think the same. I think yes, the incentives are. Yeah, I don't think that he's like this hard line without that, without having like the incentives behind him. I don't think he's like a hardline Republican by any means.
No. I think it's just unfortunate that the U.S. has this two-party system, because it's made it so that every issue is now put onto the extreme side. So you have, on the one side, you have pro-abortion, removing every aspect of religion in both government and in schools. You have transgender and gay rights on the pro side. You have not even rights, but like for like more of the transgender stuff. Because I think Republicans are obviously are honestly opening up more towards the gay rights stuff. I think that's kind of past. We've gone so far beyond gay rights that everyone's like, okay, let's focus more on this transgender issue of allowing children to gender identify and transit. And then on the conservative side, you have pro-religion in government schools. You're anti-abortion. You're and then the other both sides, fiscally conservative versus spendthrift. Very open spending policies. There's foreign policy stuff, but what the point is, you have this hard line in the sand. This party takes all these topics. This party takes or all these stances on these topics, and then the other party essentially by default has to take the opposite because we're not friends. We can't come to the center on anything. So everything is a split issue. And so by Musk going over to the Republican side, they're now like, oh, he's conservative. And so all the conservative values, like he probably doesn't care about a lot of them, but it's just what it's become where you're either one side or you're the other. There is no middle ground anymore.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. But Elon's whole $1 million idea in Pennsylvania is essentially it's a lottery where he's going to select, I don't know who it is, like how many people are getting that.
I think you had the fine print was you had to register to vote in the Republican Party in Pennsylvania. So
I don't think so.
Have lined, no?
I think it was. I don't think there had to be like, and it didn't matter which party you affiliated with.
They just had to register to vote.
I believe so.
Because I know that was the main issue. Is like the fact he's giving $1 million away. That's not a problem. The issue was that it was that the requirement was you had to register to vote, and then part of the voter protection and sanctity in the United States says you can't coerce anybody to vote. It has to be of their own free will and desire. There can't be any financial gain to vote. And so it's making it a very gray area. It's like, is he causing people to vote for financial gain, or are they voting and then this is just an added benefit?
So in response to a post claiming Musk was paying to register Republicans, Musk said winners can be from any or no political party, and you don't even have to vote. He did not address the potential legal problem of only opening the lottery to registered voters. On Sunday, the second day of the sweepstakes, the Super PAC reframed its messaging around the giveaway, describing the money as payment for a job. In social media posts, the group said winners would be selected to earn $1 million as a spokesperson for America PAC, and subsequently posted pro-Trump testimonial videos featuring the winners. So, I mean, obviously they're trying to protect themselves from a legal standpoint.
For sure.
This is obviously, I mean, this is like in some sort of way is meddling in the election. And what is
the Greg VanDyne opinion on this? Give me the GVD opinion.
The GVD opinion on it is like, why should we allow this? And why should we be incentivizing people with money to vote in either direction? And I think everybody knows what they're trying to achieve, right? Mm-hmm. So there's no gray area. It's pretty black and white, I think, in terms of what they're trying to achieve. However, they're trying to muddy the water, in my opinion, and use legalese to make it seem legit. So my take is, why is that necessary? Let's not do that. And not necessary. That doesn't make it a fair fight, in my opinion. But I think also am of the opinion that they need all the help they can get. So,
I mean, I'm just at the point now where I feel like both sides have skirted the line for so long with all these voter law things, in terms of like the polling stations where they have people lined up and they're giving out giving out stuff to people waiting in line. That's obviously previous years. That's not going on right now because we haven't had the polling stations open yet. Allowing people to have others drop off the mail-in voting ballots. There's no confirmation of custody with those. And so like how many of those have been taken by other people? But like, yes, a lot of this could be conspiracy and conjecture, but anytime you allow these things to slide, I think it just opens up opportunity for unscrupulous people to take advantage of the mass population.
Yep. Yeah, 100%.
I feel like at this point we have the technology, we have the ability, like that. I know a lot of the Democrats claim is, not everyone has cell phones. In fact, Kamala Harris just came out and said not everyone has scanners and the ability to send in copies of driver's license. I feel like by and large people have access to stuff, and you can at least get 90%, 95% of people in line with, you probably have a smartphone that has a fingerprint reader, that has a tie to a social security number, because to get a cell phone these days, you have to have a social security number and a whole bunch of other, or at least a valid ID to confirm who you are. There's so many ways that we can go about verifying who people are, but there's the claim of that's unfair to certain people. And we got 2 seconds left.
No final thoughts. I think we can move on from that one. Yeah.
We've beaten a dead horse. It's a little sketchy on both sides. Nothing official. Moving on. Topic number 2, starting the timer. Everyone's going to be happy. Arnold Palmer's cock.
Yes. We're sticking on the political circuit a little bit.
Yes.
So Greg, we don't have to spend all 10 minutes talking about Arnold Palmer's penis. But apparently, according to Trump, apparently it's large. Apparently it's large.
Fill in the audience on what the context of this story is.
Yeah, so I forget where he was campaigning, but for some reason, I don't know how it came up, why it came up. I didn't really listen to the context around it, but Trump used his platform to inform folks that Arnold Palmer has a large unit, and yeah, that's it. That's all. That's really all that is. I think it's hilarious, inappropriate, maybe a little bit, yeah. But I think that's what you get with Trump. And if anybody listening here, I don't like him. So I just we're voting for a dude that uses his platform to talk about a professional golfer's penis size. So, I mean,
let's bring up the clip.
That's going to be the leader of the free world. If you vote for him, and he wins. Are you pulling it up?
I'm bringing it up.
All right.
Sharing this. All right.
You're a shit vice president. The worst. You're the worst vice president. Kamala, you're fired. Get the hell out of here. You're fired. Get out of here. And I refuse to say it, but when he took showers with the other pros, they came out of there, they said, oh my God, that's unbelievable. I had to say it.
No, you didn't.
We have women that are highly sophisticated here.
So that's the gist of it. You can watch. We'll drop the link to it in the show notes if you guys want to watch this is a collection of different things from his speech, but there you have it, talking about how glorious Arnold Palmer's dick in the shower is. Good for him. I mean, he has a drink named after him that he doesn't drink, apparently. I
didn't know that.
Hearing an interview with him that Arnold Palmer doesn't actually drink lemonade and iced tea.
Where did it come from? Did somebody just see him order it one time and then they were like, okay, well, that's the Arnold Palmer from here on out?
I have nothing on that.
Okay.
I do appreciate ESPN's commercial a couple years ago where they're sitting around the ESPN break room or like the cafeteria, and two guys sitting at a table like, hey, look. And Arnold Palmer is going through the line and does some lemonade and iced tea from the soda fountain.
Oh, yeah. I remember that one. That's a good one. Arnold Palmer making an Arnold Palmer.
I don't know what else to really add to this one. I mean, it's pretty cut and dry. I wish I had a little bit more context on what he was talking about that led up to him talking. I mean,
there's nothing that should lead a presidential candidate to be talking about the penis size of Arnold Palmer during a presidential campaign. There's literally nothing in the entire world that should have led him to that moment. In my opinion, why? No, there was nothing witty about it. I'm trying to think of something witty
that would be a potential reason why a president would talk about another.
It's a matter of national security, Kevin. It's a matter of national security. We have to protect Arnold Palmer and his penis at all costs.
He is national treasure. You're gonna have Nicolas Cage coming after him.
Oh, dude, that'd be awesome. That'd be a great flick. And Nicky Cage
National Treasure 7 or something. What are they on right now?
Yeah.
Good on Nick Cage for running that one. I don't know what else to say about Arnold Palmer's dick and Trump with this. I think we can cut it off at 5 minutes.
That's what she said.
We'll do a Jewish circumcision on this one. 50% off. Hopefully not 50% off. Hopefully it's 10% off, but it's fine. We can make jokes like that. I'm circumcised.
Thanks, Kevin. I'm glad to know that.
Here to help.
I think we just took our friendship to a whole nother level.
Hey, man, if we took a shower together, you would have known. Trump would have announced it.
Trump would have said something. Yeah,
he would have. All right, the final topic for today. We're doing our best to keep these shows to 30 minutes.
We might be able to fit into. We'll see what it is.
Well, we can see if we can fit one more. Yeah, if we go short. That's true. I guess we have the full 30 minutes.
We got the full 30
Next
minutes.
topic is getting back to Elon Musk, SpaceX, and the super heavy booster. So,
okay, that's cool.
This is cool. Regardless of this is the problem I have with people with Elon Musk. Like they hold him to such a high standard. Like he is the CEO of all these major companies, and they expect him to be like this ideal citizen of America. Like he's a person still, but let's look at what he has accomplished. And I know people have their mixed feelings, like, oh, at PayPal he did these things, and it wasn't really him; it was the other people. He just took that money, and he knows how to play.
He's a genius. The dude's a genius.
He knows how to play the business game, regardless of what your thoughts are on him. He is a business savant.
And not only is he a genius and a business savant, but the dude is. I haven't read his autobiography, but like from all accounts that I've heard, like the dude is an absolute workhorse. And so does he deserve like everything that has came his way? I would venture to guess he's worked for it and he earned it for sure. I've got a good video pulled up of SpaceX.
Oh, you already got it? Cool. I
got it pulled up. You want to let me share?
Yeah. Am I still sharing? Ah, man, I've been sitting there on that. My bad, everybody.
It's okay. They got to see the stopwatch.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, I'm going to share because I got this already pulled up. Screen.
So people that hadn't seen this, SpaceX, they've been doing the biggest leap they've made in space travel has been cutting the costs by reusing their boosters. The first ones you're seeing, they used to catch it. All right, here you go. It's a little jumpy. See if we can bring it in smoother, or is it smooth on your end?
It's smooth on my end. Yeah.
Well, that hopefully comes through then. So like, let's look at the history of this. They've gone from the original NASA. So think of going to the moon, Saturn V. It was this massive rocket, and everything but the very tiny tip capsule completely goes to waste. So all the engines, it's a use of one. SpaceX came up with this crazy ass idea of, hey, let's reuse these rockets and have them land someplace as they come back down instead of burning through the atmosphere and crashing into the ocean. And they did that. They had these boosters landing on barges in the middle of the ocean repeatedly. I think they've had some of that are like 15 somewhere between 15 and 20 launches reused. The amount of money that saves is extraordinary. And now with the SpaceX super heavy booster, this is the rocket that they're planning to send people back to the moon and eventually out to Mars. I think it was 23 stories tall. It's massive. It launches up, gets the rocket tip booster into orbit, and then it comes back to Earth. And not only is it landing, it's getting caught by these scaffolding arms that are closing in. And I've seen some crazy videos that had like super high def. There's these, I don't know how big they actually are because it's tough to get the scale, but basically relative to the rest of it, there's like these little nubs on both opposite sides of the booster at the very top. As the rocket comes in between these scaffolding arms that are closing, those little nubs land on the scaffolding. So it's not actually pinching it. It's resting. The whole thing is just resting on these two nubs. And they did it on the first attempt at the chopstick attempt. You know, they've had several super heavies that have crashed and blown up and been pretty spectacular. But what SpaceX has accomplished is extraordinary. And I think it's going to really revitalize and open up a lot of opportunities in the future.
Yeah, man, that's so cool. It'll be interesting to see by the time that we die, you know, in the next like 50 years or whatever it ends up being, what space exploration looks like.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't think it'll ever be in the next 50 years. I don't know. Who knows? But, you know, one question you got to ask is like, will space exploration be accessible to like the average person?
100%.
In the next 50 years? You think so?
I think so. Well, I mean, I can't say 100% because, you know, we had this huge exponential curve in our aviation ability. So was it like 1910, I think, is when the Wright brothers first flew, 1910, 1914, something like that. So from let's call it 1910. I can fact check myself later. You guys can do it for me. To 1969, we went from never flying 10 feet off the ground to landing people on the moon. Unless you're a conspiracy theorist, flat earther, something like that, and you believe it never actually happened, it was all staged.
1903. 1903 was right.
1903.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. It's earlier than I thought. So 1903. So in 66 years, we went from having zero flying capability to landing on a foreign orbiting object outside of our atmosphere. We're like, this is incredible. This literally rocket ship trajectory on our growth. And then after a couple moon explorations, we just lost interest. And I think 1970, it was early 1970s was the last time we went to the moon. It just stopped. And so if we have something like that happen again, then yes, obviously it's not going to happen. But now that it's been commercialized and it's not a government funded thing, it's very difficult for it to stop because now there's profit involved.
Yep. Yeah. No, it's going to be an interesting, the next 50 years are going to be, I mean, get out your popcorn because it's going to be wild. It's going to be wild.
Well, also, mean, if you look at the Saturn V rockets, remember for us people, Gen X, early millennials, the TI-86 calculators that everybody had to have for geometry.
Are those still around? If someone is listening and they have a kid that's like in high school,
TI-86 was a super powerful calculator at the time that, like, I don't know, relative to what we have today, it's useless. But the entire Saturn V rocket that landed 2 people on the moon, but 3 people in orbit around the moon, had less computing power than the TI-86 graphing calculator. Texas Instruments, if you guys want to look it up. So that was 1969. So imagine what we have capable today in terms of computing power and AI, like all the stuff that they're going to be able to accomplish with, and whether you call it actual artificial intelligence or just super cognitive computing capabilities, it's going to be pretty remarkable what these spacecraft are going to be able to accomplish.
Yep. 100%.
And you can also, going back to the Musk thing, taking away from what he's accomplished, like, it's not just money. It's not just access to other people, because Jeff Bezos has Blue, Virgin had their Virgin Galactic, and there's several other space related companies out there, but at least those two. So Branson,
he's got
I'm trying to remember his first name though.
Richard Branson.
Richard Branson, and then Jeff Bezos. Two very, very wealthy individuals have not succeeded in accomplishing what Musk has done. You know, yes, they've each gotten people out into space, but they haven't really done anything remarkable. They've kind of copied the template that Musk started and then tried to make it their own. But there's nothing unique to it. And it just goes to show that you can't just throw money at it. You have to have inspiration and nonconformity and coming up with just crazy ideas. Like, think about that. Let's have a booster rocket land itself vertically.
Yeah,
land vertically. Like, that's like throwing chopsticks at a lawn and being like, yeah, we can get these to land sticking in.
Yeah. When you consider like all of the dynamics that are going into that thing landing itself, there's so many different factors. I mean, the wind picks up, or, you know, the temperature outside. Like, there's just so many different variables, and it's still able to do it. It's incredible.
And his personality around failure. So you've seen some of the spectacular explosions and failed landings and stuff like that, where the whole thing just goes full high order. The best interview I've seen of Musk, and there's a lot of them, but my favorite one, just because it's something I'd never heard before, but it really sums up his personality around failure and iteration. A rocket blew up. I don't remember if it blew up on the Stanford first coming down and failed. But he's like, yep, we had a RUD, a rapid unplanned disassembly, aka it blew up.
Yeah,
and he's like laughing about it. And you know, you hear him talk about other things in other events. He's like, we have probably like a 2% chance of success, or a non-zero chance of success. Like, he's just always expecting to fail. And there goes the timer. He just always expects to fail, and he's okay with it, and he pushes his engineers to try new crazy stuff, and ultimately get to a success. But he doesn't need everything to succeed.
Think about how much they learned from all of that failure. You know, like, I feel like
so much.
If they were to succeed on the first time, obviously that's great, but there's probably so many things you miss along the way without like failing. You're not going to hit it. I mean, that's just never going to happen. Especially, you're never going to land a rocket with chopsticks, you know what I mean, on the first try. So much.
They did. I mean, they failed along the way, but in terms of actually catching it with the chopsticks, that attempt, was impressive. I thought for sure it's coming at an angle and it swings across.
Yeah, that was incredible. All right, let's do one more.
So yeah, we're at 28 minutes right now. We'll do one more. Okay, we'll do a quick one. We'll send it. VP Harris going on the Sean Ryan show. So, bit of a misnomer. Sean Ryan has been reaching out and putting posts and newsletter articles together, asking Harris to be on the show, because he's already done Trump, and Theo Vaughn had Trump on there. Joe Rogan is going to have Trump tomorrow. This is obviously recorded on October 24th. October 25th, he's going to have Trump. So Trump's going on these non-standard independent media things, these podcast guys that have millions of followers, and arguably people go to them to get more unbiased news, because they've become so burnt out with what CNN and Fox and MSNBC and all these others are spewing out. We feel like we can't take what they say at face value, where a lot of these podcasts, Joe Rogan, I can speak to, like, that's not edited at all. You hear some of his episodes and people have to take a piss break, and he'll just go on his own little internal monologue on mic while someone goes to the bathroom. Like, there's zero editing in it. And so I think it's really interesting that podcasts have gained that much credibility and power that people are turning to them for better information. And I think Sean Ryan's onto something that that Harris needs to go on these types of shows to give an undoctored view of her values, her morals, her vision, and give more information on who she is.
Yep. Yeah, no, I love it, man. I think that's great. I think that Sean Ryan will do a good show too. I think he'll be a good interviewer for sure. And dude, I was actually shout out to Atlas Altman, because he's the one that came up with this. He was talking about it, but to me, this is sort of relevant. But books or podcasts replacing books, moving into the future. I don't know that it's going to replace books, obviously. But it definitely has, I think, stolen some of the market from readers, is, being able to listen in on podcasts and entertain yourself as opposed to books. But, I don't know. There's also always been the radio and stuff like that people listen to.
Yeah, but I think with things like Audible and just audio books, a lot of people would listen to books while driving, and now they have podcasts, which it doesn't have to be, live radio. It's whether or not you're in your car at the time of that show. iHeartRadio might have had recording stuff. I feel like iHeartRadio just got screwed by the advances in technology. It happened too quickly. Where podcasts, you can start and stop however you want. You can take it from your car to inside the house, to inside your office. People can really take them anywhere. And so that's what's allowed. I mean, there's been no talk shows in history that went 6 hours. Some of Sean Ryan's shows are literally 6 hours. Yeah. I don't know how, that's just impressive. It's a recognition of just how smart he is, how well he can hold the conversations, his interview and journalist interviewing and journalist skills. Yeah. Preparation. He does not fuck around. That guy comes well-versed in what that person has to say and brings up topics, and is really good at just drawing out the conversation and having people answer in detail what they're thinking. And he's not constrained by, investor and producer restrictions, requirements. They're not mandating they talk about any one thing. If he hears something that they talk about, he'll bring it up. Be like, I can talk for an hour. I can talk for 6 hours. We'll go for as long as you want to go for. And I think that's really valuable.
Yep. Yeah. So that would be a good one.
Yourself off at 30 minutes.
VP Kamala, if you're listening, get your ass on the.
She's definitely listening to our show.
She's definitely listening to our show. I mean, there's 100% chance she's listening to our show. So
yeah. I'll give the Musk answer. There's a non-zero chance that she's listening to our show.
Wouldn't that be hilarious? I mean,
I think it'd be good.
Anyways,
she can reference that in one of her speeches. Trump can talk about Arnold Palmer's dick. She can talk about the Harder Not Smarter podcast.
A much more sophisticated topic for sure.
So much more sophisticated.
Yeah.
I'd like to consider us a blend or somewhere in the middle ground between, Theo Vaughn and I don't know what's a more sophisticated podcast out there.
Oh, like the Daily Stoic. I would say that's probably a pretty sophisticated one. Yeah.
Somewhere between Daily Stoic and Theo Vaughn is where the Harder Not Smarter podcast sits.
Yeah, I'd say so. I think that's fair. Yeah. All right.
Well,
34 minutes.
34 minutes. That's pretty good. I'm happy with that. Much better than the hour we went for last time.
Yeah. Yeah. And we got 4 topics in.
Yeah. Squeeze them in. So for everybody listening, if you have topics you want us to talk about, please drop them in the comments. Reach out to us on LinkedIn or Instagram. We'll drop both of those in the show notes. We're happy to bring them up. Otherwise, tune in next week for another series of topics, typically 3 to 4, 10-minute series, rapid fire, getting your news of what's relevant today.
And who do we have coming up here on the podcast, on our guest appearance?
Ooh, that's a good question. You have that up. I'm not on it.
Oh boy, don't put me on the spot. Okay,
it's on the spot.
I'm gonna find it.
He's looking it up.
We've got John Daly.
Ooh, not that John Daly.
Not that John Daly.
we're just talking about Arnold Palmer, not that John Daly. Although I am going to reach out to him because that John Daly, golfer John Daly, has participated in I think it's the Bone Frog, not Golf Open, but it's a golf charity event for Navy SEALs. I've seen Ray Cash, for anybody that follows him on Instagram, big yoked out old team, not old, like old era team guy.
He's kind of old.
He's older than me. I saw a video of John Daly teeing off out of Ray Cash's mouth. So Ray Cash has a tee in his mouth. And John Daly, in typical fashion, board shorts, no shoes, and like a t-shirt, teed off out of Ray Cash's mouth. So actually, I want to have Ray on here because that dude is intense, but also awesome. And then also John Daly. People will add on to the list of invites we're going to send out.
Yep. Love it. All right,
everybody. Thank you. John Daly. Oh, the one that he talked to, former recon Marine, served like 30 years. Awesome story. He has a book out. I'm blanking on the name of it. Tough Bastards or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be in the show notes next week.
Exactly. Thank you, everybody. And we'll hear from you soon.